This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Alright y'all, we've got good news and bad news. The good news is we survived the hurricane. It only lasted one day here in SoCal. All we got was gloomy weather and some rain. But the bad news is I got COVID again, which just kind of frustrates me because I literally never leave my loft Monday through Friday, and I only ever go out to film or to like actually go hang out with Arthur on weekends, literally only Saturday and Sunday. So enough ranting. I'm just gonna take it slow the next few weeks while I'm quarantining. So I thought, hey, why not just do a thrift flip video? And because I'm a beginner when it comes to sewing, all of these are very easy to do. So on this side of the table, we have more of the alternative and dark thrift flips. On the other side, we're doing the very pastel, feminine, and girly. Two of these are also TikTok inspired, but let's just get started with thrift flip number 1. We're gonna be thrift flipping this little sleeveless top here. So look at this brand. It's OHS. It's dead stock, paper tag, made in USA. And so although I really do like it, it's just a little too masculine, especially with the notch collar and then the studs, and just like the sleeveless silhouette doesn't look as feminine as I would like it to. So we're gonna lean into this overall alt dark style, and what I want to do is just make a cutout on the side right here and use this fabric that I've been using in previous projects. This is what the star is looking like. It is a little asymmetrical because this point is the longest out of all of them, but you know what, I don't hate it. So let's just cut her out. All right, let's see how this turned out. This is such a big hole. Oh, okay, I think it looks cute. We just have to make sure that they don't spread too far apart. Otherwise, we're gonna end up with like really wide angles. It looks a little scary just because the star is so big, but all we're gonna do is just lay down this fabric, and then we're just gonna sew the star, and then we'll be all done. Alright y'all, we just finished this. I'm crossing my fingers that it looks good. So right now it just looks like a big blob. You can't even tell that it's a star. So let's just cut the star outline and let's get as close as we can to the stitches, and then it should look pretty dang cute. This is where we're at right now. It doesn't look very much different. Like, I almost feel like we need more mesh, either right here in another star, but that would just reveal my bra. So then I thought, why don't we just do some short sleeves? Since I still have a lot more fabric, this would easily tie in more mesh and it looks more complete. This fabric that I'm using used to be a cardigan, so it already has an armhole. So this makes it pretty easy. I think all I'm just gonna do is sew along the existing seam and then connect it here. We could chop it off. I don't know why I was trying this on my own body. I bought her for a reason, and I told you guys that I needed a name on Instagram. Y'all sent me some of the most weirdest old-timey names, but the one that really sat with me was Ethel. I don't know what it was, but I was like, that is so haunting, so granny, and I feel like it just fits. So I introduce y'all to Miss Ethel here. She is my new bust. I literally got it in Little Tokyo for only $20, but I will admit she's not the best quality because she is fairly wobbly, but it gets the job done and it beats, you know, having to do all of this on my own body. So if you really do want one for yourself, I'll leave the Jungle address down below in the description box so that way you can get one for yourself. I think they have around like maybe 4 or 5 left. Welcome to day 2 of this thrift flip. I was only able to attach one sleeve yesterday, and then I started feeling really lightheaded. I couldn't even think straight, so I was like, Danielle, it's time to slip on some PJs, take off your makeup, and jump straight into bed. So So here we are, ready to sew on the second sleeve. I don't know anything about patterns, so I did just Google an image of what a short sleeve pattern looks like, and this is kind of what I came up with. Is it a little uneven? Yes, but this material is super stretchy, so I feel like I can get away with it. So all we're gonna do is just clip it to this side here, sew it on, so we can pretty much have the same thing here, and fingers crossed that they are gonna be the same length, but let's get sewing. Y'all, not to brag, but I made this freaking shirt. I am so obsessed with it. Okay, so the sleeves, I feel like this seam right here looks a little wonky, but I mean, I had no choice. I had very limited fabric, but I am so happy with the end result. And then look at the star. We kind of see the black brown underneath, but that's totally okay. I am so obsessed. I just think it's so wild that I literally had this shirt for a year, never even wore it, and now I can't take it off my body. But really, with this thrift flip, you could do any single shape. My favorite right now is a star, obviously, star necklace, star cutout, star tattoos. Obviously, stars aren't the only shape that you can play around with, so here's a few more on the screen. You could do flowers, triangles, hearts, just have fun with it. But overall, super happy with this thrift flip, so let's move on to number 2. Alright y'all, let's take a quick breather just to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. If you haven't heard of them, they empower individuals to create an online web presence and even launch your passion project. So mine has been reworking vintage lingerie, and all thanks to Squarespace, I was selling it on my professional website, twinl.com, and that's where you guys sold it out. So a huge thank you to you guys too. I know how intimidating it can be to create a website, especially when you're like me and you know absolutely nothing about technology, but Squarespace makes it super easy because they offer a handful of tools. So the first one is e-commerce templates. So Squarespace has a whole library full of different website layouts. So whether you want to sell physical, digital items, or even use your website as a blog, I promise you there's a template that matches your overall needs. The second tool they offer is inventory management, and this just helps keep all of your merchandise organized. And so anytime something is low in stock or completely out of stock, you'll get an email notification. The third tool they offer is secure payment, so you can actually connect Stripe and PayPal on your website, so that way when your customers are checking out, they can pay either using their credit card, their PayPal, or Venmo. The last tool they offer is a built-in mobile website, so any design that you choose does come with its own unique mobile experience, so this just means that your website is going to be accessible on a desktop, an iPad, and even a phone. So if you want to check out Squarespace, visit squarespace.com for a free trial, but when you're ready to launch, visit squarespace.com/Twinl to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using my code TWINL. But a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Let's get to our next thrift flip. This next thrift flip I'm so excited for, and I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. I saw this on TikTok. Okay, well, I saw a video of a girl. Okay, actually, I don't really know what this TikTok was about. I think it was just a girl who styled a tie that she saw in a magazine, or maybe she bought it from the magazine. I don't know. I just know I really like the tie and I want to recreate it. So I have this one here. It's pretty basic. There's a black and white all over print, and we're just gonna adorn it with some spikes, some chains, some crosses, eyelets. So let's get started. I don't really know what I want this to look like. I pretty much have all these like metal items and ribbon that I had laying around my loft, so we'll just play around with the placement until we find something that we like. I am loving this. Only, do you think it's a little too busy? I kind of think that the red bow doesn't make any sense, and it kind of looks good alone like this, but I don't know. Now I feel like it's missing color if we don't have that. Time to make some eyelets. I bought this off of Amazon maybe around like 2 years ago. I don't remember how to use it, but I know I need a hammer, and I think this is what makes the holes. I only need 3 of them, so this is where I'm thinking as far as placement. One in the very center, off to the side, and then one right above, because this is where we're going to be hanging these crosses. I feel so bad because the bunnies are sleeping right now, and I have a feeling that this is gonna be super, super loud. But okay, this is the tool that's gonna make the hole. So I'm thinking I want it about right here. So we're just gonna hammer that. Okay, it didn't do the most perfect job, but I think I'll just use sharp scissors to remove that. That's not as centered as I would have wanted it, but you know what? The hole has been cut. It is what it is. I was in a jewelry making phase, and so I have a whole bunch of these spring rings and crosses. So let's just get this open. Ooh, if I even have the strength to do this. There we go. We're not even done with it yet, and it's already looking so good. So the little eyelet is a little off-centered, but I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. So let's tackle the big statement piece, which is this bow. I'm wanting, oh yeah, that's gonna look so good. I wanted to incorporate this metal chain into the bow. Nothing too crazy, but maybe just like one single strand hanging on each side. So maybe we'll just cut it about right here. Ooh, there we go. So that way it just hangs like that. Oh, I love that. I don't want to admit it, but I'm feeling pretty cocky because this piece is not even done yet and it is looking so good. But let's move on to some studs now. So I know for sure I want to line the side with these smaller ones. So I have 3 different sizes. So we have this really tall, pointy, skinny one. This more like medium size, it's a little bit thicker, and then this tiny, tiny little baby. I think we're only gonna be using these 2 because these actually get pretty pointy. I have used them on previous projects, and they kind of hurt, so I think I'm gonna use the more blunt ones. This little space here is driving me nuts. It's just way too empty when everything is just full of detail. So what I'm thinking is to add one more eyelet right here and then kind of make this little dangling chain. So that way we have this cross detail right there. And that way it's really well balanced because we have the crosses at the bottom and the crosses on top. Here is the finished product, and this is just screaming maximalist. It's one of the heaviest ties I own now, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. So we are literally covering all of it with some sort of detail. And so we have the little chain at the top, the spikes, the bow. It was actually pretty heavy, so the E6000 glue wasn't strong enough. I had to end up sewing it. We have the little chain detail that's running through the bow, the black grommets, and then the crosses at the very bottom. But even though we do have a lot going on, I feel like you can't really tell even from this distance. And I'm thinking it's because we kept the colors very muted, only black and white, so there is some sort of balance. But overall, super happy with this one, and I love that it's one of a kind. So all I have to say, y'all, is look through your like craft drawer, see what you have laying around your home, and maybe you can just stick it onto a tie. So with the tie all set, we're done with our alternative, more darker thrift flip. So let's move into thrift flip number 3, which is our first like pastel-y one. Moving right along, we have thrift flip number 3, and we're doing something again that I've always really wanted to do, and I came across it on TikTok. So this is a video that I saw. They were saying that it's a Chinese trend. All you're really doing is just adding a very coquette or bloquette cord twist to your sneakers. So in the video, we saw a lot of lace, embellishment, pearls, and so that's exactly what I have here sprawled out on the table, but also a little bit of ribbon so that we can replace the laces, and then these like random teddy bears that I found one day while I was out in Fashion District. But the Nike Cortezes are gonna be the victim of today's thrift flip just because this lilac color is just so hard to style and I rarely wear them. And I am planning to only use E6000 glue as adhesive for all of these items. So I think it might be a little tricky, but let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing I wanna do for sure is replace the laces. I feel like in all those photos that we saw, everyone got rid of the laces. We don't need that because we're gonna be replacing it with this white colored ribbon instead.
Cute too, but she figured out the and I caught you at a bedtime.
It looks like it has a plate right here that says Cortez 72. I really like that metal detail, so we're just gonna feed that onto the ribbon. And then we're just gonna compare it to the length of the shoelace and maybe add just like a little bit more. We'll add like an extra 2 inches of length. We'll cut that, add a slant again. Ooh, that's gonna look so cute. Okay, let's put it on our first shoe.
I hate things that I wanna see. I got things that I wanna see. Oh, won't you come with me? Oh, won't you come with me? And I caught you at a bedtime.
The next thing I want to do is just play around with this lace. So I do have 2 different colors. We have this more like brighter cream color, and then this one is a little bit darker, kind of has like a hinge of blue. Plus it looks like it matches the ribbon on the laces more anyways. But what I'm wanting to do with this is kind of just trim the collar like that. Kind of gives me clown vibes and I love it. Oh, that is gonna look so good.
What a sonic goodbye. Demons are fighting. Demons are fighting. And I caught you at a bedtime. Wishing that you were mine, but you're talking to a bad guy. Oh, you're talking to a bad guy. And I was in my damn mind. Wishing for
Tell me this isn't freaking cute. But I think we need to add a little bit more. It just looks a little too simple on the side. But for now, I want to play around with these toe seams. And I did cut these little tiny pieces of lace. And I think I might just want to glue them right there on the front.
It's been so long. You've been so tough. You've kept it up. You've kept me up.
Guys, I think I regret it. I don't know if I like it. Should I take it off now? If I wait any longer, it's gonna dry. But I just feel like it looks weird. It does not look right to me. I'm gonna remove it. I don't think it looks good. Oh. Okay, scratch that idea. It does not look good. But now I want to work with pearls. So we have this photo here, and I love how even though those are Adidas, they didn't fill the stripes entirely with pearls. They just kind of have them randomly placed there. So I think that's what I want to do with the Nike swoosh, and maybe we'll even add random pearls outside of the Nike swoosh. So let's figure out some sort of placement. I have these pearls that I actually, oh no, that I use for my nails, and I never use these like super huge pearls. So they're finally coming through for something.
And though you might think that you're fine, you need someone. And though you've been in your time,
I have one shoe fully done. So the last thing I did was just add this little bit of lace onto the ribbon just so that when I tie it, it adds a little bit more volume and a little bit more texture. Okay, so I thought I wanted to put these bears right on top, and I think it would look super cute, but I think that's just overdoing it. And because they are pretty worn, I don't think they'll even stay. So then I was thinking maybe on the back, but I just don't see any point in having it there when you can't even see it. So let me know your thoughts on this purple little bear, if I should just toss him to the side or glue him somewhere onto the shoe. But I love it. This is so dang cute. So I'm gonna do the other one off camera and then I'll try them on. Here are the shoes in all of their glory. I love them so much. So I did try on 2 different types of socks. Here we have the frilly ones that make them look very youthful and playful. And here we just have classic tube socks that just give more of a sporty bloquette style. I've easily made these shoes more of my style. So if you want to do the same with yours, but you don't want them as extreme as this, I would say the easiest thing to do is just to replace the laces with some ribbon. We are down to our last thrift flip, and this is the one that I'm most scared about, but I did slip on a dress that I made myself, so we have some creative thoughts flowing, but we are gonna be cutting up the Mountain Unicorn t-shirt. Arthur got this for me, and as much as I love it, I just don't wear t-shirts very often, and they kind of make me self-conscious because I have a cup baby, so anytime I wear something that has a really high neckline or that's like a little bit more oversized, I just feel very boyish. I know for sure I want it to be a dress, and I have this pink lace that I picked up at the FIT'em Scholarship store. We have some purple lace trimming that I have left over from my vintage lingerie, some pink ribbon, little bow appliques, and then lastly this crown that I used for an outfit for the Renaissance fair. But all that I really want is just this center charm. These are a few photos that I was highly inspired by, and I just like how ruffled, hyper femme they are, and how a few of them have this very like dramatic V cut. So I think I want to go ahead and just replicate that. Ultimately though, I don't really want to get rid of this front graphic. It's giving cheesy and whimsical, and I want to keep as much of it as possible. So I'm thinking the V should drop pretty low, and about here should be the end or the bottom, and it can go up in this general direction. I don't know if I'm gonna regret this or not, but there's no going back once I chop them off. We're gonna replace the short sleeves with lace instead. Because we're gonna have the pink lace at the bottom, I feel like we need it at the top too so that there's some sort of balance. I did the short sleeves of the first thrift flip we did, so I kind of just assumed that if I want the sleeve to be bigger, I just make this like bell pattern a bit bigger. So fingers crossed that this works. Two sleeves cut out, but y'all, I do not know sewing terms, so I'm gonna try my best to try to explain what I want to do. But I want them to be oversized puff sleeves, and so I want them to be a little bit crinkled so that it creates that puffy effect. But then at the bottom, I want to feed a little drawstring through it so that I can tie it and make a cute little bow. And also keep in mind, y'all, I am winging this, so if there's a better method to sew this, let me know down below in the comments, because this is my first time doing this. Admit, these sleeves are coming along so awesome, so it's time to chop off these sleeves. Okay, we're not gonna chop them off, we are gonna seam rip them just in case this goes horribly wrong. We're just gonna put these right back on them. One single sleeve. That took a freaking eternity. But let's finally sew on this sleeve. We have sleeves now. I am gonna admit though, I don't know if I'm liking it. I feel like they're still pretty much off the shoulder. I wish they were more like this, but you know what? We're just gonna trust the process and continue going because we're nowhere near being done. But now I just wanna feed this ribbon through the sleeves here, so that way we could tie them and then add a little cute bow tie. I know feeding this ribbon was such a small detail, but I love it so much. I just think it's so feminine. So we're just gonna do it to the other side, and then we'll finally figure out something with this skirt. I was dreading this moment because I really don't know what I want to do for the skirt portion. I know for sure I want to do that whole like V thing, but does that give too much 80s? And like realistically, would I wear the skirt often? I feel like the dress I made that I'm wearing now, it's so classic, it's so easy to just like toss on and wear, but this, I don't know, I don't want it to look costumey or a little too outlandish because I want to make sure that it's something that I wear. But at the same time, I kind of want to give the same vibe of like a Sailor Scout uniform. And just by saying that, I know I'm contradicting myself because a Sailor Scout uniform will obviously look like a costume. But you know what? That was my original thought, so we're just going to do it. We're going to cut it at a V, add a single tier, and maybe if it looks good, we might play around with multiple tiers and see how well it works out. She's been cut, y'all. That's it. There's no going back. Oh, actually, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Okay, I like that. I'm into it. The only thing is I do think we should take it in from the sides a bit, just so that, you know, it's a little bit more fitted. And that way we could flare out with the skirt. I love it. Okay, we're on the right track. The home stretch, I just finished the skirt. I did add like a good 2-3 extra inches just in case, and also for seam allowance, but we're gonna have to sacrifice a nightie. I just recently got her, but I need a lining. Otherwise, I'm gonna always have to wear some sort of shorts. So we're gonna cut her. Here's another check-in. I just finished the skirt and it has a lining in it now. This is a moment of truth. The skirt has been attached. I may have like a little bit of excess fabric, so we'll just cut that off. But other than that, she's nearly done. Okay, please, please, let's see. Guys, I love it, but this is totally giving 80s prom. Or I can just continue telling myself that it's giving like fantasy Barbie, but I love it. I think it's so cute. This whole thrift flip video is just bringing out the maximalist in me. So I feel like the collar just looks so empty. So I have two thoughts. We either put this cute little bow. I do like that, but it's still giving t-shirt. Or we use this pink trim and then we top it off with the bow. Or is this just overkill? Also, the pinks don't match, so that does bother me just a little bit. I feel like we've taken this many risks, we might as well just do the lace trimming. So I'm gonna do this off camera. I'm gonna fix the length on the skirt off camera, and I will meet you guys for the final try on. I am giving mother of all unicorns, and I'm here for it. I will admit though, there are a few like rough details. I feel like the sleeves are a little too oversized, and so they kind of are a little bit more off the shoulder than I would like. And the t-shirt fits a little oversized too, so I actually took it in 2 inches on the side already, but I think it needs just a little bit more to define my waist. But I mean, besides those 2 details, I think I did a really good job. I'm gonna post an updated version on my Instagram, so if you wanna check me out there, I am at Twinell_. I'm sorry that this video doesn't offer any sort of pattern that you can follow, but I really do hope that it offers some sort of inspiration to either whip out your sewing machine or start a new creative project. And as I always say, if I could do it, you can totally do it too. Also, a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, so don't forget to check them out at squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch, visit squarespace.com/Chanel to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using my code TWINO. But as always, y'all, I post videos at least once a week. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!